It's 2014 and I've just landed in Sydney, Australia, leaving behind everything in Nepal. I chose Australia over America, and today I will be sharing why I chose Australia and take you through my first year. From trusting a stranger to pick me up at the airport to navigating job interviews, my journey here was filled with struggles, surprises, and successes. Whether you're an international student or just curious about a life in a new country, this video is for you. And let's get into it. So, why did I choose Australia? At the time when I was weighing my option, it really came down to certainty of application and lifestyle. Plus, the post-study work visa option in Australia was much more favorable and also had a clear pathway to permanent residency. I work with short-term and long-term goals, so just having those clear options were really helpful to make that decision. America kind of felt like this big, chaotic option. I wanted to be somewhere where it was freeing, more independent, manageable, somewhere I could grow without being too overwhelmed. As an international student, I knew that no matter which country I went, I had to do part-time job and need to support myself. But I truly believe Australia had those opportunities for me, and as per my research, they had great education system and work-life balance. Hence, those were the things that was huge factor in deciding to come to Australia. Now, let me take you back to my first day. I remember getting off the plane filled with excitement and nerves. The plan was for my cousin's friend to come pick me up at the airport, but here's the kicker. I had no idea what they look like and I've never met them before. It was a huge leap of faith. And I kept wondering, what if they don't show up? Because there was no plan B. The ultimate backup plan was I would find university accommodation or book a hotel last minute. Luckily, I wasn't stranded and they did show up and became my family later. But that moment taught me a lot about trusting a process and going with the flow, especially in a new country. Once I was settled in, I started going to classes and I realized I was running low on my funds already. So I had to find a job and fast. I had no local experience, which made things tricky. That's when I came across this book called Interviews for Dummies. I read the book cover to cover. That's where I learned how to nail those interview questions like, tell me about yourself and what are your weaknesses. This book quickly became my go-to guide to build confidence and land my first job in McDonald's. If you are new to job hunting in Australia, I highly recommend picking one of these books. Nobody tells you this, but preparation is key to confidence as an international student who is trying to find their footing. Your resume can only get you interview, but it's your interview that really determines whether or not you get the job. Finding a job wasn't my only challenge. There is no sugarcoating it. Finding a good accommodation is a big hurdle, especially on your first year when you are trying to manage everything on a student budget. It is important that you are sharing a house with mature and understanding people. You don't even realize in your first year it's really important that the people that you're friends with or your housemate has a really big impact on you and your mental health. I really urge you to invest a little bit more time to find right accommodation, right space for yourself where you can actually study, go to work, come back and wind down. It is challenging to find affordable housing with limited resources, but I really urge you to keep looking and not settle and stay in a toxic environment. Managing finances was a massive challenge during my first year. I had to find a job as soon as possible, as I mentioned earlier. One of my biggest breakthrough came from a referral when my friend recommended me for a job. In this regard, Australia is exactly like Nepal. It's not about what you know, but who you know. These apps have helped me land a job in Australia and they can help you too. Especially if you're an international student or consider yourself introvert. Please do not underestimate the power of putting yourself out there, attending events, and simply letting people know that you're looking for a job. Seriously, reflecting on my first year in Australia, it was full of challenges. I learned to trust myself, take risks, and embrace the unknown. In my next video, I'll be sharing my second year and how I managed my finances, saved money, and started setting myself up for the future. If you're really curious on how I went from $0 to owning a $600,000 property, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next video.